Hello friends and welcome to the Tao of Goblin. Today we are going to be talking about transitions, and I'm going to tell you about it in the context of one very specific trick, one very specific pattern. So what we're going to use is this really basic two throw out of a standard cascade, and I'm going to do a carry out of it. It'll look like this. Okay, really straightforward carry. Alright, you can see I'm throwing kind of a column method and doing a carry. I can do it underneath or I can go over the top. If I do it repeating on both sides, it would look like this. Pretty straightforward carry for experienced jugglers. Throw a 2 in the middle, grab it. There's a lot of reasons why that's a 2 and how that all works, and we'll go into those a little bit. So I want to start by showing you some of the ways that you can transition out of this. And transitions are really important. This is what links your tricks together, and this is just one example that you can use to completely change the way this one basic trick looks as you execute it. So let's look at some variations on this transition. So we saw this over the top one back in Cascade. Well, you can also go into Mills Mess by doing that same carry and going underneath. So now we have a different transition into a different type of pattern. Now we're into Mills Mess. But it doesn't end there. We can do transitions that'll take us into columns too. So something like this, and now we're doing that exact same carry, just out of a columns pattern, creating a very different look. We can also go into a spikes pattern. So if I do something like this, then I'm into the same pattern. So I can go, and once again, we're still dealing with that exact same carry. It looks slightly different, but it's all actually the same carry, transitioning into these very different patterns. So this gets important because with that one simple carry, I can go a lot of different directions out of the same position in a juggling pattern, and I could end up there any different number of ways, right? I could be transitioning out of a trick like that and want to go into more of a Mills Mess. So I'll use the variation of the carry that'll take me into Mills Mess, transitioning over there. Or I might be looking for more of a columns pattern, so I'll do that transition instead and go into columns variations. So out of this one basic carry, I can get to a lot of different places. And now I get to make decisions while I'm performing about how I want to interpret what's happening around me, what I want to show at this point in time. We can agree that transitions matter. And I can show you a quick way to see that. So repeated tricks look different than tricks that aren't repeated. We can see that by using box as a pattern. So let's take a look at box. If I repeat this, it has a very particular look. I can do variations on it and I'll get a different look. Or I can go into a shower. Any of those variations is going to create a different appearance. If I only do one throw, it's going to look like that. So clearly repetitions of tricks are important. I could do that for just one pass of it, and again it's going to look different if I come back to Cascade. If I go to here, now I've transitioned over into doing that shower, I get a different appearance again. If I just repeat it over and over again, there's reasons to do that, but I get to make decisions about how I use time in my juggling to create different appearances. When you combine that with the process of varying transitions and going into different styles of tricks to fit whatever mood you're in, whatever music's playing, whatever your audience is digging, you can get to a place where you're playing with your tricks in a very different way than just showing them off. Doing a mirror of this is interesting, and I would use this. I generally do it a little bit brought up here. Still a variation of that same carry, right? So that's interesting and useful. I think we shouldn't write off the ability to repeat tricks and use them with intent. But I think the fact that we can transition through all of these different kinds of tricks using the same sorts of transitions is really interesting, and it applies to all sorts of other things. As you start looking at this, you find, oh, well, I can just do varying different versions of all these different kinds of transitions to move quickly through a lot of different tricks and create that appearance. And if I want to repeat tricks, I still can and get that particular appearance. But we should think about our transitions. We should think about the time we're in and how our transitions are going to affect the way people view our juggling. I think that's kind of a fun exercise. Once again, we went from just this basic carry to all sorts of different variations on that carry that lead into different kinds of tricks. And again, all of that's just that same carry. So I think this is kind of cool. I hope you find it interesting. I hope you'll come see me again soon. I will be back again next week with some more juggling. I'm not sure what we're going to do next week, but we'll find out. Push the follow button, come hang out, and tell me what you think about this transitions thing, because I think this is the basis of flow. Yes, I think it's the basis of flow. So tell me how that makes you feel. I'll see you again soon.